I'm continuing on that tape video I just put up. Uh, affordable corporate suites. I just call them. This man is Jewish, and he owns a whole bunch of these, not just in Roanoke. Now he's expanded to extended stays and very wealthy, I assume. But I've on and off. I came here in '86, and I have scrambled. I have gone from place to place. I'm allergic to chemicals, and I say this again in case somebody's just picking this up, video up. Maybe they care to go back to the one I just made, and then it's all over YouTube's. I've got so many up there, giving background and everything, or Facebook or Instagram. But this is part of what I want to show you, and I'm just going to read this if anybody's following it. I'm Margaret in Windsor. I was kidnapped in '41, and I was brought to Moulton, Alabama, and given the name of a twin, Peggy Ann Dempsey Childers. The kidnapping me, 39, here's my own Uncle George, sorry. I got a good word for him. I won't put it on here. I wouldn't want to offend any nice people. Maybe one day you'll get to see how just nice they all are. He's selling his soul, and thus then Elizabeth and her bunch of crooks that should be brought before a world court, and only God could do it. Roosevelt, aren't they looking bright and happy? Planned my kidnapping in '39. I was born. I was kidnapped in '41. And I have to put a little background on here. Roosevelt appointed Joseph Kennedy Sr., the dad, ambassador to England, '36, and this is when they took my father down. I have questions about my grandfather, George V, how he died. Anyway, my father married Claudia O'Keefe, Windsor. A beautiful lady, a school teacher, Georgia O'Keefe, the artist's sister. This is the real King Edward VIII. They used doubles back then. And he never married Wallace Warfield Simpson, the American spy. A double did. Now then, I was born Victoria II. The day I was born, it was an addendum legal. There was a 99-year seal put on it to shut up my dad's forced abdication and the fact he never married Simpson and my birth, Victoria II. The day I was born, according to the law, it would have put my father back because he would have to make the decisions for me. Instead, they kidnapped me, and there you go. Now then, I wrote a book about mind control. I didn't know my real name and my kidnapping until '83, and yes, I can remember some of it. And I was given the name of twin Peggy Ann Dempsey Childers, married Childers. Carl and Peggy, twins, their mother was born out of wedlock. She was a psychopath. That family covered up the murder. She killed the twins. So I was put there. And later, I wrote a book in '76 or '75 till '81. April Fool's Day of '80, excuse me, and I was almost killed. It was horrible. I should have died. Instead, I was transported across the state line illegally in that condition, passed a background check for Sheriff Patterson for anybody that wants to hear or listen, because anyway, work as required for working for Fred Simpson, the district attorney, Madison County, and I lived at Warren House Apartments. It was about mind control murders. Warren and Rosina Matthews, pathologist at Larry McDonald's Hospital. You got a long list of it. Audie Murphy was one. By the way, I knew and told about it back then. I didn't know that mind control, I didn't know anything about it, was used. But his plane went down right out here by me, by the State Mental Hospital, Catawba. And the Appalachian Trail changed the trail a little bit and went up by the crash site and made a monument to him in '91. Larry Flint was shot while I was doing the book at Moonraker Apartments. He was shot in Lawrenceville, and he says here, I know who was responsible for his shooting. Larry McDonald, I hope I'm not because I'm not feeling good, and the fact I've got to, what few crappy things I've got and groceries I've got to throw away because I have nowhere to go. Go to the forest, and you think this is nuts. I hope it's told, and oh my God, it is sick what's been allowed to happen to me. Anyway, what I was out there during the campaign in '83, and he wrote this in '84. And he said to me when I walked out the door of his home, he said, he said it just before then. He said, there's no room in the inn, I-N-N. And I won't go into, it's cryptic, and that's proved, I've been blocked. If I get a place, I'm run by chemicals, my immune disorder. I'm allergic to chemicals, and if I'm in a toxic place around them, my immune system attacks itself, and inflammation over the time, that, besides how sick you are, I am, will take out your heart, your vascular system, your kidneys, your lung, your liver. And I'm sitting here right now where I'm at in this home with these people right here, and I try to leave Georgia. I try to leave Virginia. I'm running right back here. But this is the people that own where I'm at now. They're very wealthy, and they've gotten wealthy here off of the property and anyway, the connections. I'm not going to say that again. That goes right up to these people all know it's my thing. I don't know if Bob Goodlatte, head of the Intelligence Committee, has done anything wrong, but he certainly knows about me, and so does John Edwards. And I'm assuming, being governors here, that Mark Warner and Tim McCain has to know. So I wanted to put this up. It's put me into running back and forth up and down the Appalachian Trail when I could, freezing, starving, getting locked up by the Agriculture Department. That's the Rangers, and going into court. And Goodlatte was head of that I just mentioned, who's head of intelligence now. He was head of agriculture, and so that means he's head of the law enforcement of the Rangers that did this to me, of the whole thing. And I'm going in and out to John Edwards, who's senator of Virginia, and he's next door. His office was then to Goodlatte's, who was over the agriculture then, and I was in there many times. And I'm going to say it again. The last time a guy followed me out from Goodlatte's, I was on the elevator. He told me to wait. He says, if Goodlatte helps you, he'll be out in the woods and the forest living with you. Well, I'm the one that's still, and now I can't walk and I don't have a place to go. And every law in the book broken, but he's up there and all these other people looking good, like these good, upstanding citizens. So I want to read this because this was the, Alexis Murphy was killed. These are mind control murders, like the person that shot Flint and killed his attorney was programmed. And the Virginia Tech shooting, the 33 that was killed, I put it all up there. This is where she blatantly wouldn't take my rent. This woman, Debbie McKay. This is owned by a Jewish man, and he knows all about it, believe me, was a part of it. But this is the last time, well, next to the last time I stayed at one of their places. And, I mean, it's so sick if you read it. I've put it up. But I've just called them again. It puts me into calling people, begging to pay them to get chemicals used on me. And I was told, I'll say it again, by Carol Rogers Simons at Edinburgh. She said, you're paying for the crimes, meaning I'm getting soaked in chemicals and run for what your family did to the Jews. Well, the Jews helped kidnap me, and it's not just the Jews, the Kennedy, you name it. Law enforcement's involved in it. So anyway, this is what she said to me, though, and I just got through calling over there. It's bad enough to have it done and you can't sue them. They should be locked up, then begging to go back and pay them again and hope they don't do it. She said to me, she brought it up on the computer, her daughter had just finished high school. She told me she had just left a really good job at the bank, she's on the board, to come there. So she said to me, pointing to her daughter, she had her daughter's picture up there on the